Earlier this week, I did my Events That Changed the Theme Park Industry 1999 episode. While looking into all the amazing things that happened that year, I came across a lot of exciting things that didn't sound familiar. I started counting them. 1, 2, 3, 6 stories about major projects that ended up getting scrapped. I thought these stories deserved their own video, so here we go. These are 1999's greatest developments that never happened. Before we start, if you could drop this video a like, I'd appreciate it. It really helps out the video and the channel, and gives it a boost on the YouTube algorithm. Let's kick this off with a park that's famous for being neglected, Michigan's Adventure. Back in the late 90s, when it was still family owned, the park was expanding like crazy. Shivering Timbers put this place on the map when it opened in 1998. Then they got 2 more coasters in 1999, but they weren't done. They fully intended to build a $7 million hypercoaster, standing 210 feet tall. Permits were filed for the project, along with a convenience store and a gas station, a new parking lot, plus a campground and a hotel. This was all part of a massive 5-year expansion plan, a plan that was meant to make this park a top destination in Michigan. The park was bringing in about 500,000 people a year, and they were hoping this would get them to 1 million. All of this required special permits, and the owner wanted to reclassify some of the land from residential to commercial. What all came of this proposal, I'm not sure. What we do know is that none of this ever happened. The family-owned park was bought by Cedar Fair in 2001. The park has only seen 1 relocated coaster over the last 20 years, and the park is by no means the destination they dreamed of. The park may seem hopeless now, but at one time, it was on the verge of being something special. Let's go on to Clearfield, Utah, where Aerodynamics had something new and exciting in the works. They were working with NASA, PRT Systems, and a British university to use magnetic levitation technology, or maglev. The same technology that could launch a rocket into space could also make a ride vehicle float on the track. Aero wanted to use these magnets to replace the chain lift, having the train float up the hill without touching the track. This wasn't just a wide-eyed crazy idea. They had a plan on building this coaster in Japan, and it would crack 300 feet tall, reach speeds of nearly 100 miles per hour, and it would be complete by the year 2000. Based on this description, it sounds like they were talking about Steel Dragon 2000. This would end up being built by Morgan, and it uses 2 chain lifts to get to the top. Maybe Aero was going to do this for Morgan, or maybe Steel Dragon was supposed to be an Aero project. But either way, maglev never made its way onto a coaster. You'll find these on trains in Europe and Asia, but no coasters. The LSM lift hill on Maverick is probably as close as we'll get to it, for now. Now we move on to another scrap coaster concept. For this, we'll go to Orlando, Florida. Kessler Enterprises was making waves, announcing a 45,000 square foot complex right in front of the 302-room Sheraton Studio City Hotel, equipped with 2 high-end restaurants, 10 retail shops, and amusement park rides. One of these rides was to be a Wild Mouse, located on the roof of one of the restaurants. But the big attraction was to be a Vekoma Hammerhead stall coaster, the first of its kind. A big half-pipe looking coaster going up and down the 220-foot spikes, all while the car is spinning. Less than 1 year later, Kessler put the hotel up for sale. When news of the sale went public, Vekoma declared the Hammerhead stall project to be cancelled. Kessler would not sell the property until 2007, but the entire complex never came to be. As for the Hammerhead stall coaster, it would be renamed Big Air, and it would only sell 1 model, 10 years later, opening at Taiwan's Ida theme park. Staying in Orlando, we all know 1999 was the big year for Islands of Adventure. This spectacular new park made Universal Orlando a true multi-day resort, but they weren't satisfied. Before Islands of Adventure even opened, Universal bought 2,000 acres from Lockheed Martin, a little bit southeast of the park near the convention center. This would include 2 golf courses, hotels, timeshares, retail space, and a brand new park to go along with another city walk area. This park's target audience would be the kids, contrasting the 2 parks down the road. On top of all this, there was even plans for another park in that area for 2010. Universal sold some of its land to Orange County to expand the convention center, and used that money to start the massive project to clean up the site. Lockheed Martin used it as a missile testing site, and there was a reported 83 tons of toxic waste that had to be cleared. $40 million went into the cleanup effort, and then Universal Orlando's part owner, Vivendi, told Universal's management to sell off the land. The original plans were dead, but not for good. In 2019, Universal announced Epic Universe, the company's most immersive and innovative theme park. Its location is right there by the convention center, between Universal Boulevard, Destination Parkway, and Sand Lake Road. This doesn't seem geared to kids like the original plan, but at least this scrapped idea turned into something, just 2 decades later than planned. Speaking of new parks, let's go across the country to Southern California. Studio Park Partners Incorporated, a group out of Florida, announced a 1,000-acre movie studio, theme park, and retail center. This would be in the Santa Clarita Valley, 25 minutes north of Hollywood, and right in the same town as Six Flags Magic Mountain. In fact, One of their targeted sites was the old Whittaker Corporation Explosive Testing Lab, a 996-acre site 5 miles east of the park. This $2.1 billion resort would be called Studio Park, including 3 hotels, a conference center, a golf course, a movie-themed park, and it would be an actual working movie studio. There isn't any video of this plan, so I'm just showing footage from Universal Studios Hollywood. It sounded like basically the same thing. Their proximity to Magic Mountain raised eyebrows, but studio partners said they didn't want to compete with that park, rather complement it. They said their data showed demand for another Southern California park, so they went for it. The partners were looking for investors as of 1999, targeting a 2005 opening. That's the last I heard of this project, so I'm not sure how or why it fell through. Maybe it was the dot-com bubble bursting, maybe it was the recession that followed, but all that's just a guess. Magic Mountain remains the only park in Santa Clarita. Let's move on to... no, actually, let's stay right here. Magic Mountain has our last scrap project, another one that disappeared without a trace. New Hall Land and Farming brought Magic Mountain to the Valencia Valley in 1971, but they sold it off to Six Flags in 1979. They weren't a theme park operator, they were a land developer, and they came back to the site in 1999 with a grand scheme. This would be a 400-acre addition, turning the park into a full-blown resort. Hotels, a retail and entertainment complex, and even a new attraction with a movie special effects theme. The addition would be 4 times the size of the park itself, and it had been in the planning stages for a couple years. With Legoland California opening up that year, Not Soak City set to open the next year, and Disney's California Adventure opening the year after that, the competition was fierce. This would give Magic Mountain some legitimacy, give it that much-needed on-site hotel, and give people a place to spend money right outside the park, just like Knott's, Universal City Walk, and the soon-to-be-open Downtown Disney. This would also turn Magic Mountain into a year-round park, just like all its counterparts, being open every day instead of closing on off-season weekdays. The price tag would be several $100 million. I came across this story when doing my Magic Mountain documentary, and I looked everywhere, but I could not find whatever happened to this project. It could have been a victim of the recession, or maybe it was scrapped for some other logical reason. Magic Mountain would move to 365-day operation in 2018, but there's still no on-site hotel, and nowhere outside the park to eat or shop or do anything except for get in your car and leave. Instead, Magic Mountain is getting a massive housing tract that wraps around the back of the park, really boxing in the park for any possible future expansion. That's a wrap for this sad video. For as much as we got in 1999, apparently we also missed out on a lot. Let me know which one of these was the most intriguing to you. For me, that resort outside Magic Mountain would have been really cool. Once you leave the park, it's just kinda dark and sad. It's the complete opposite of all the other parks in Southern California, so it's really too bad it didn't work out. I think it would have been really popular. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, and give me a sub for more content just like this. Also, check out my links below for my Discord server, and my second channel where I post copyright-free off-road footage, and my baseball channel if you happen to like coasters and baseball like me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.